War is not always fought with bombs. Sometimes it's fought with cameras, headlines, and every time there is conflict between India and Pakistan, the same drama plays out. The media explodes with breaking news. One side claims victory, the other side denies it. Both say they destroyed the enemy, but have you ever actually seen what's claimed? Have you seen real proof of destruction, or just dramatic clips, stock footage, and bold captions? You see what you're shown. You believe what you see, and what you believe becomes the truth for you. What you don't see, well, that remains a mystery. You know what else is left out of this coverage? The truth. The question is, who benefits from this endless tension? Do you? Does your neighbor? The answer is no. The only people who benefit from this are politicians, weapons manufacturers, and media companies. Politicians distract you from unemployment, inflation, and corruption by waving a flag and pointing at the enemy. Weapon makers sell more guns and bombs and news channels. They get more views, more ads, and more power. While they win, we, the people, lose. On both sides of the border, mothers worry, families pray, and children grow up with fear, not facts. We've all been brainwashed into believing that peace is weakness, that asking questions is betrayal, and that they are the enemy. But maybe, just maybe, the real enemy is the lie. Have you noticed how every time violence happens, the story changes? One channel says 100 soldiers were killed. Another says none. One says jets were shot down. Another says it's all fake. And then it disappears. The hype fades away. The public forgets. But the damage remains. Ask yourself, why is there no independent confirmation? Why are global agencies not verifying these claims? Why are ordinary people never shown the real truth? Because truth doesn't serve the agenda. Hate does. If we keep fighting each other, we'll never ask why schools are underfunded, why hospitals are overcrowded, why jobs are disappearing. Divide and distract. That's the formula. But the common man in India and the common man in Pakistan, they are not enemies. They are victims of the same system. It's time to wake up. It's time to stop being manipulated. If you really care about your country, you'll question everything, including your own media. Not to be disloyal, but to be honest. Real patriotism is not blind obedience. Real patriotism is the courage to demand the truth, even when it's uncomfortable. So next time you see a flashy news story or a viral video about war, don't react. Don't repost. Don't hate. Pause. Think and ask, who's really winning? Because it's not us. Hello everyone. Hello everyone. Now, you must have heard this song. You must have seen this video. It was everywhere online, and I don't want to talk about the music video. It's neither patriotic nor anti-war. I want to focus on something else. Something beyond the borders of India and Pakistan. Something that unites us all. This video has around 2 million views. Can you guess how many comments it has generated? Here's another example. This video was released in 2020. It's a protest song against the Citizenship Amendment Act, or CAR. Now look at the comment section. Who do you see? Our enemy again. Why are they commenting? To praise Indian artists. Now let me tell you something about the CAR. The Citizenship Amendment Act was passed by India. It allows persecuted minorities from neighboring countries like Afghanistan, Pakistan, and Bangladesh to become Indian citizens. What did Pakistanis do? They protested. They called it discriminatory. They claimed it would turn India into a Hindu state. Did India stop them from protesting? No, not at all. Indian citizens also protested the CAR. Some of them were arrested. In fact, most of them were arrested for rioting, not for protesting. What does Pakistan do? call India intolerant. Let me show you another example. This song was released during the height of the pandemic. It celebrates frontline workers. It also thanks our brave soldiers guarding our borders. Again, the same video. It has the same sentiment. Now look at the comments. Who do you see? Our enemy again. What are they doing? Praising the Indian army. Do you see my point? We keep calling them the enemy, but we also admire their art. We also celebrate their culture. We also praise their armed forces. And when this happens, nobody bats an eyelid. Nobody questions this cultural exchange. We all cheer for it. But when there's war, when there's tension, things change. Things get binary. There is no room for nuance. You're either pro-India or pro-Pakistan. The only problem is, this is not true. Most Indians are not pro-war. Most Pakistanis are not pro-war. But those who shout the loudest, they end up setting the narrative. And this narrative is not based on facts. Let me show you some headlines from February. Pakistan Air Force shoots down 2 Indian jets, said Geo News. Soon after, India denied it. The Indian Air Force said it had shot down 1 Pakistani jet. Now, which of these is true? You can decide that for yourself, because neither side provided proof. All we saw were dramatic pictures of a dogfight, and that too, without context. Do you know why? Because some images cannot be verified. Do you know why? Because dead soldiers do not release statements. Dead pilots do not post on social media. Dead soldiers do not release casualty figures. Only the living do. And when they do, they come up with conflicting numbers. So, how do you verify these claims? How do you figure out the propaganda from the facts? Because when there's a dogfight, both sides claim victory. When there's a border dispute, both sides claim sovereignty. When there's a terror attack, both sides deny involvement. And I know what you're thinking. We all know the truth. We all know who's behind the terror attacks. Well, here's news for you. Pakistan also thinks it's India that's behind their terror attacks. And the reason is simple. It's easier to blame someone else. It's easier to start a war than solve one. It's easier to demonize a community than tackle extremism. It's easier to call them the enemy than fix your own problems. Think back to the 2016 surgical strike. India said it carried out strikes across the line of control. Pakistan said it was all lies. Then came the Balakot airstrike in 2019. India said it bombed a terrorist training camp. Pakistan said no such camp existed. And in 2022, India said it took out a Yash Mohammed commander. Pakistan said he was never a threat. Do you see the pattern here? Pakistan says India exaggerated the threat. India says Pakistan is lying about the threat. So who's right? Well, that's not the point. Blaming someone else is not the point. Solving the problem is the point. Fighting each other is not the point. Staying safe is the point. Now look at what happened in Afghanistan. The Taliban returned to power in August 2021. Do you remember the humanitarian crisis that followed? The freezing temperatures, the food shortages, the power cuts. How did Pakistan respond? They opened their borders to Afghan refugees. Today, Pakistan hosts 1.7 million Afghan refugees. How many does India host? According to the UN, what's the solution then? Accepting the truth? Yes, there will be border disputes. Yes, there will be ceasefire violations. Yes, there will be terror attacks. But blaming each other won't help. Seeking help will help. Asking questions will help. Being disobedient will help. Because real patriotism is not blind obedience. Real patriotism is the courage to question your leaders, the courage to demand the truth. Even when it's uncomfortable, real patriotism is not cheering for war. Real patriotism is working towards peace.